Welcome back to the Kosi Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. This could be Mikel Arteta's most saddening and depressing press conference reaction that I have seen. He was talking about the season so far and the Chelsea result and what Arsenal have to do to get out of this, deep hole that we are in. We have not won a game in the last four Premier League games. We've not won a game ever since the last, international duty. And he was genuinely depressed. I mean, he's a guy that has got this sense of humor at times. He's a guy that has got he can create a couple of jokes at times. There were no jokes this time. There was nothing positive out of this press conference. But the one thing I've learned, and we're going to talk about what he said, and we'll dive into his reactions. But the one thing I've seen about him is that he's a little bit losing hope. He's losing the hope that Arsenal can catch Liverpool. He's losing hope that Arsenal can go and win the title. He says the players want it, and after the international break, hopefully we can be more consistent. But there is no conviction when he says those words. I don't believe my manager is still believing that we're going to chase and catch City and then also chase and catch Liverpool. So Mikel Arteta, is he giving up already? And if he's giving up, what should the fan base believe? Should we focus on the Champions League? Should we focus on maybe the FA Cup? I don't know. It's a very, very difficult and tough period. For Arsenal, you always know when it comes to November and Arsenal, and then December as well and Arsenal, those are, black months. We have Black November and we have Black December as well. And it has not been any different. November, Arsenal have not won a game so far. December, it's crowded, and you're starting with Manchester United. You've got very, very many important games in the Champions League, including Sporting CP. It's a tough one. It's going to be a very, very tough ride. But what is Mikel Arteta saying? Why is he depressed? Let's dive into it together. Now, first and foremost, he talked about the result against Chelsea, and he said very disappointed with the result because I think we deserved more. And at the same time, very proud of the team, the way we played here against this opponent, this stadium, the way they have battered every opponent here, and obviously it wasn't the case today. But after doing the most difficult thing, scoring the first goal, we are very disappointed with how we conceded the goal. Nowhere near the standards. Our defensive habits have gone. How we allowed that, and that moment that you allow the space and time to any of their players with the quality they have, you're going to get punished. That was not bad luck. So this is Mikel Arteta really trying to stay positive, but I can see a manager that is, this is a manager that I know. He's so positive when it comes to his players. He's always very positive, but I can see that the little light of positivity is in there, but it's dying, and he's feeling lonely. He's feeling, hope is lost. And again, with Edu gone now, I don't know what's going to happen in January. But also it says in the end, the team showed its teeth, how much they wanted it. They took risks, full determination, put Chelsea under every problem. We were very aggressive. We created 3 big chances, and unfortunately, we were not able to put the ball into the back of the net to win, and I think the team deserved a win. Listen, if you go back and watch the highlights of this game, you can see the amount of chances Arsenal failed to put away. You can see the amount of chances that we blew away. But also, I think what I get from that is that Mikel Arteta is just trying to avoid blaming. He's just trying to avoid. I've seen a few press conferences where he said our best chance fell to Gabriel Martinelli, and he didn't put it away. I think there are like 2 press conferences where he said that. But if Mikel Arteta was like any other unsensible manager, if he was like any other trash manager, this is a game where you play, you throw your players under the bus. This is a game where you go, Trossard should have scored, Merino should have scored, and Martinelli should have scored more. But he doesn't. I think he loves his players. He believes in the project, but I can feel it. I can start, to feel it, that this is a manager who feels there is so much going wrong, and therefore we are not in the direction that people want us to be, or even that we want to be. I mean, picture this. Last December 2023, Arsenal was struggling with scoring goals. We were attacking, we were on the front foot, we were, defending well. Our problem was putting the ball in the back of the net. And when we went to Dubai, we got, I don't know whether the Hajats there did something to their players. Please do it again. I don't know what happened. But when we went to Dubai, we came back. The team had every element that we went with. We were still pressing high up the pitch. We were still winning the ball back early. We were still effective in transition. We were still effective at playing out from the back. And we started putting the ball in the back of the net. We were a perfect team right from January to the end of the season, apart from the Aston Villa game. And that's why I always say that was our time. That was our chance to win the title. This time, it feels different. And the manager, you can feel the manager. He's talking about defensive standards. He's talking about quality standards. He's talking about putting the ball in the back of the net. He's talking about, chance creation. He's talking about so many things that are actually going wrong. And that tells you that this team is in a diabolical state. It is in, kind of a catastrophic blip. And the reason why I'm calling it a blip is because this team can bounce back from all this. I mean, we've got the quality, we've got the manager, and we've got good players, and we've got the experience. We've done it before. But it's in a catastrophic blip because everything that we were so good at, suddenly we just can't, we just can't catch a break. Mikel Arteta also talked about the performance from the captain, and he said, I don't know any other player in this league that is capable of doing what he has done after 6 weeks out. He had a day and a half of training. And he says just physically and mentally to be connected the way he is, it is unbelievable. Martin Odegaard is our most important player. It used to be Saka, but I'm asking myself, if Saka goes out of this team and we have Odegaard, do we struggle like this? Do we lack options like this? Maybe yes, maybe no. But I love the way that Saka has stood up and taken responsibility without Odegaard, but just not good enough. Just not there. I think not good enough is the wrong statement. I think the right statement is just not enough. Not enough to cover for the deficit left by Martin Odegaard. So Odegaard, our best player by a mile on the pitch. For me, the best player by a mile on the pitch yesterday. And Mikel, I don't know what he's going to do to keep him fit, because they will foul him. They will step on his heels. They will step on his ankles. The only thing we can do is what City did. If you have a Kevin De Bruyne, who is like once in a lifetime talent, can you get like a Bernardo Silva who's a little bit different, and then a Phil Foden who's also a little bit different? Actually, they're really different from Kevin De Bruyne, but they can do the job. They can get you the points. If we can do that, maybe we are not so far away from from a consistent squad. Mikel Arteta on dropping points from winning positions. I think this is what makes him depressed. This is what makes him sad. This is what makes him to lose the hope that he has. And he says that is not very much like us. But I think today, on that sense, the way we conceded, we have to fault ourselves, and that is something that we certainly have to do better at, especially when you're not scoring 2 or 3 goals at the moment, as we are not. And listen to that. Listen to that. Again, in that short statement, if we could read it again, he says, on dropping points from winning positions, that is not like us. And he says, the way we conceded today, we have to be at fault, especially when you're not scoring 2 or 3 goals at the moment, as we are not. So he's talking about a lack of goals. He's talking about a lack of concentration. He's talking about a lack of, a lack of defensive ons that we had, and he's talking about a general decline in play. And this is a manager, like I said, who is so good at hiding the imperfections of his player, right from Hector Bellerin to Callum Chambers to whoever, to Rob Holding, all the players that he has decided to play and keep, right? He's always defended them. But right now, he's not throwing anyone under the bus, but he's literally showing you guys it's bad. I can't point to one direction. I can't point at one thing and say, if we were doing this, then we would be much better. He's saying, defensively, we are a shambles, and we cannot even score 2 goals in a game. So what do you expect me to do? We are not going to win games. And I remember right from the summer, I remember saying on this channel that why is goal scoring an underlooked sector, an underlooked part of this team? Why all of a sudden do we have to contend with scoring very few goals? Why can't we go and get a striker? I mean, this was a market where strikers made switches. Honestly, Evanilson went to Bournemouth and Solanke went to Tottenham Hotspur. Osimhen went to Turkey, and so Romelu Lukaku moved to Napoli. All those were striker moves. Jonathan David stayed where he was. Gyökeres stayed where he was. Sesko stayed where he was. There was so many. Vlahovic stayed where he was. Tony is no longer at Brentford, unless I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Tony is no longer at Brentford, is he? So it means strikers were there, options were there. John Duran, Aston Villa at some point in time were willing to sell John Duran. You remember? So I think Mikel is partly to blame for his misery right now, because this is a miserable press conference. Like he's just gone. I blame myself. I blame the team. We are in a bad position. He's not given us anything to cling on to as fans. Mikel, on where today's result leaves us, he says there is nothing that can change about that. What I am praying is that after the international break, I have a team fully equipped physically. They are available and they are fit, because it has been an absolute nightmare for 8 weeks. Issue after issue, not only the ones that are not able to play, but the ones that play only for certain moments, only for certain days, not able to train. So I'm just asking for that, because the team, the desire they have and how much they want to win, there is no question about that. So it's going to come. We just need that on our side. We just need to be consistent. We just need fitness on our side to be able to be more consistent. You can't deal much with injuries if you're not Pep Guardiola. And even if you're the invisible, even if you are the great Pep Guardiola and you're so good at rotating, at any point in time, your squad is going to be affected by that injury that is going to cause you to lose 4 games in a row. Can't believe that City have lost 4 in a row. I mean, Arsenal have not won a game in 4 in the Premier League, but City have lost 4 in a row overall. So looks like we are in the same boat as City. Mikel Arteta on if our performance against Chelsea was a step in the right direction. He says today was about winning and how you perform. Against Inter, we were much better than them, 100%. I've watched it back twice and I'm more convinced about it. Today, I think we deserved more, but this is football. The margins are so small, you cannot give anything to the opponent. Again, he's not saying. Again, this is not him trying to brainwash us and himself. He's just gone today was about winning. We didn't win, so don't tell me or don't ask me whether we are going in the right direction. And I think that performance, by the way, it didn't indicate that Arsenal are going in the right direction, because we usually beat Chelsea. When we are struggling, we usually beat Chelsea. So no, I'm not convinced about it. On Saka and Declan Rice's fitness, he says it doesn't look good because 2 players of that importance tell you that they cannot continue in the game. So it's obviously it isn't good news. On if they'll go for international duty, he says he says 2 players that have just come off. I don't expect them to be fit, because if they were, they wouldn't have come off. I mean, okay, I think they will go for international duty, though. I think they'll go for international duty. On what we need to do to bridge the gap on the front runners, it says win, 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 and win, because these guys, they don't stop winning. So that's what we have to do: win, win, and win. And we've had to dig in with all the circumstances. It says when it gets nasty, show your teeth, show how much you want it. When it gets in Disneyland, it's easy. Everyone is next to you and telling you how beautiful you are. And when it gets dark and difficult, everyone is questioning it. On if he has spoken to Martin about international duty, he says, I haven't spoken to him yet. I'll speak to him, and then I'll tell you what I prefer. And finally, on finding the right formula to scoring goals, Mikel says, well, we don't put the chances away, and some other times we haven't had that determination inside the penalty area to make it happen. We are just hoping that that's going to happen, which is something that's very difficult, different in football. Certainly, the team is in the right direction. That team doesn't do that, because I haven't seen any team against Inter do what we have done against Inter Milan, do what we have done today here. So we have to transform into winning matches. So why I say that this is the most depressing Mikel Arteta press conference, there was no positivity there. There's no positivity. Like, he tried as much as he could. You could feel it that he's trying to shine some positivity into the press conference, but it wasn't coming out. And there are people who say, because you're negative. There are times when I want to come on this channel and tell you guys we're gonna do it, and I just don't feel it. It's not there. So is the manager giving up? I don't think so. But I think he is hurting. I think he's extremely depressed because of these injuries, performances, and results. Liverpool are 9 points clear. If you're Arsenal manager, you are worried.